Gene and Dave Show. The following program may contain strong language and brief nudity. But don't get your hopes up. After all, this is public access TV. This program was made possible from the support of VSA of Texas
and AmeriGroup.
I'm Gene.
And I'm Dave.
And we're the
Gene and Dave Show.
And today we have with us Dr. Chris Strickling, who is the former Actual Lives Project Director, Manager, how is that?
All of it.
All of it.
Depending on what year.
And Actual Lives was a performance group made up of people with disabilities. We would write out events that have happened in our lives and perform them on stage. And Chris put this all together, so we invited Chris on the show. We're going to show some clips, and I apologize in advance. Some of the video and audio is not so good. I was still learning how to use a camera back then, and of course the technology was not so good, but the quality of the performance, the things we'll go over are pretty good. So,
and Actual Lives is really how we met, Gene.
It is.
It's the birth of the Gene and Dave Show. It's how it all culminated and came together, and we're still doing the show even 12 years later. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And we'll get more into that towards the end. But first, let's hear how Actual Lives got started.
So, Chris, may I call you Chris? Dr.
Yes,
Chris Strickling? Thank you, Chris.
Better than some of the other things you've called me.
What was your role in Actual Lives, and why did you want to get involved with that?
I had been an occupational therapist for about 20-something years, and I was to the point where I realized that I was in this position all the time where I was supposed to have the answer, and I didn't feel like I had a genuine understanding of what people live with daily with disability, even though I've been a therapist for a long time. I knew about bodies and behaviors and all that kind of stuff, but I didn't really know any people who were dealing with that on a daily basis that weren't my patients. And then when I got involved with kids, I had to tell parents what to do, and I had never been a parent, and especially not a parent of a person of a kid with a disability. So I felt really the more I got into it, the more I realized I didn't know enough to be really good at it. And I decided that I needed to either get out of the field or fix that not knowing. And I wanted to be out of the position of being the one who had the answer. I wanted to ask the questions, and So what I ended up doing is I backed out of my career except for one part of it, which was with deafblind kids, and then I went to graduate school in literature, because that was my other love. And the reason I got involved with Terry, which is the reason I got involved with Actual Lives, is that she did that first Actual Lives project as a college class.
Oh.
And I took it was right after my master's was done, and I was trying to figure out what to do next. And a friend of mine who helped get her to the university, a professor, Lisa Moore, came over to me on the stairway one day and asked me what I was taking, and she said, "Oh no, you have to drop that novels class and go take Terry Galloway's class because you're going to really enjoy it." And I was like, "I don't know." She goes, "Oh no, you really have to do that." And she was one of my advisors on my master's, so I was like, "Okay." So, and I had seen Terry perform her Out All Night and Lost My Shoes at one of the theaters in town. So I went, and then we just got to be friends, and we're the only ones really there who were interested in the disability part of what she was offering. It was aging, gender, and disability, and so we ended up deciding that we'd like to try an actual lives with a group of adults with disabilities.
Wow, if you hadn't switched to that other class, that one little thing,
It's amazing
just,
to
yeah,
me.
it went to
On the
in a
stairway.
different trajectory, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
In the stairway, you just never know when a life-changing event like that is going to happen. And really, with Actual Lives, you've changed so many lives.
And it's changed my
for
life
people.
completely. So, so
Do you remember your first project or the first performance?
yeah, it was our very first thing was a week long with Terry, and we got it funded. We paid her a lot of money, and she was so worth it. And we had, I think 13 people in the first group, and we just started from zero and ended up with a performance we started on a Saturday, and we had a performance on the following Friday.
Wow,
And it was
that's
every
a short
day.
turnaround.
It was every day.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was wild. It was really fun. It was at the Vortex.
So
Bonnie Collin did that for us.
was there blocking involved? Were there
Yes.
people actually getting up
Oh
and
yeah,
moving?
there was
and-
lighting and music and blocking and all of that.
Well, to
And
get it,
we went to the Vortex because Bonnie Cullum, the person who runs the Vortex, already had an adapted, accessible space, and
Oh,
we could.
okay.
There weren't any others at that time. It was 2000 when we got that show up.
well, let's take a look at one scene called Rosa Parks, and you get an idea of what our performances are like. Here's Jeff Marsh and the folks from Actual Lives.
Hello, everyone. I'm Katie Curett with today's news. We have a breaking story from the City Transit Center. We take you now to our correspondent on the scene, Marta Bartel. Marta?
Thank you, Katie. Hello, everyone. Today is Rosa Parks Day. And if you've been riding the buses today, you might have seen a rose on the front seat to commemorate Rosa Parks. However, for Jeff Marsh, this wasn't quite right. Jeff, do you want to tell us what happened to you today?
Yeah, me and my friend Nikki, we were going up to she has cerebral palsy and uses an electric wheelchair. We were on our way up to the radio station to do the radio show that we do every week. And when we arrived at the transit center, there was a driver handing out flyers explaining that because it was Rosa Parks Day, one seat on the bus would be reserved for a rose representing Miss Parks.
And what did you think of that?
We thought it was cool, and we were going to talk about it on the show today, and then we were going to talk about how the movement that she'd set fire to had burned into the disability rights movement of today.
Well, what happened?
Well, we went to go get on the bus. We were told they could only take one of us because one of the seats, wheelchair seats, was being reserved for the rose representing Rosa Parks.
The mother of all civil rights?
Exactly. Doc proceeded to explain to this asshole that when Miss Parks was getting busted for sitting where she wanted to on the bus, my people couldn't even get on the fucking bus. And I was pretty sure that she would give up her seat for a person in a wheelchair. But he said sorry and left us sitting there because I refused to leave Nikki at the transit center alone.
So what did you do next?
I called Metro and I argued with them until the next bus driver came, and then I tried to convince this driver and his stupid visor how stupid it was to have one of the only wheelchair seats available reserved for the rose, and that 50 years after the fact we still only had 2 places where we could sit.
A young black woman called Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat to a white person on a bus. It was the law, but she'd had enough, and she was arrested for that. But then that law was changed. But she didn't stop there. She started sitting in those seats meant for disabled people.
Wow, that was pretty well done. Kind of silly, though, that they wouldn't let people on the bus, 2 people with wheelchairs, because they had to leave a flower on one chair. But the best intentions there, but But those are the kind of things that happen in
Flowers matter, right?
Exactly. Here's one of my favorite clips with Danny Signs called Special.
In the 90s, I went through my Great Depression. I took a personal growth class, and all this garbage started coming up about being separated from my family as a kid, about being put in a hospital, about being cut up, about being told that I was just like everyone else, about being treated so differently. When I was a kid, I went to a special kindergarten. Then I went to a special school on a special bus. When I was sick, I went to a special hospital. I even went to a special college where I learned special skills. I learned how to load a pipe for a clock. I learned special techniques for using because that's what they gave everybody for back spasms. You could practically get it for dandruff. I learned that you could trade the for the marijuana. Really want it, and Medicaid would pay for it. That was a special experience. Drug and alcohol abuse, followed by a very special decade of being a devout Catholic, followed by an extra special episode of suicidal depression. This special shit was killing me.
That was so true what Danny was saying. People kept telling him, you're like everybody else, but he took the special bus, went to special school, and
He was just like everyone else, but treated differently.
yeah,
That was his thing.
yeah. Danny was in actual life quite a while.
Yeah. He stayed in pretty
Was
much
he
the
one of
whole
the
time.
first? Was he in the first?
He was
that
the
vortex?
original, one of the original cast.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
He did a performance on sex education. I couldn't find it in my
Oh, I
video
still got
library.
it. We still
Do
have
you?
it.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Well, if we can find it, folks, we'll play it for you here. There's another one. You know, we kind of learn about each other too, giving these performances.
Yeah, I think that was like the therapeutic part of it. We would do our writings together, and you would present a topic. One of my favorites was travel, because it's always a real pain when you have to travel with your wheelchair or other equipment. You don't know where you're going.
Don't know if it'll be accessible.
Right. There's story after story involved with
Everyone
write
had
about
a,
your travel
everyone has a story.
experience.
Everyone in the group.
And we would share those after we wrote them, just with each other first, and we would identify, oh my God, I go through the same thing.
Yeah.
And it really helped to know that there was other people out there that were struggling with the same things.
And the one thing that surprised me, Jeff Marsh, who's a paraplegic, told me he was in special ed. And I said, Jeff, why were you in special ed? He says, well, because I'm in a wheelchair. And that was the only reason. So it was surprising. But then I was also surprised by your performance, Dave, Denver's Drama.
Oh, the Denver drama performance. Yeah.
Do you want to set that up for us? Or should we play it and you can comment on it?
Well, I'll just say that it's a story about our adoption process to ultimately bring Denver home. But it was a long, drawn-out process that lasted a few years.
Forever.
It was a long 9-month birth cycle for Terry. It was long, and then we had to figure out how we were going to do things so that we could tell birth mothers that we've got this handled. And I remember she worked with you, and you worked with her a lot and did occupational
I had to put my
therapy
occupational
sessions.
therapy hat back on.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
put your OT hat, your
Yeah.
PT hat back on, and my favorite story is you guys going to the baby store and trying all the different car seats with this teddy bear, whether she could strap the teddy bear in the car seat or not. Yeah, that's I can just picture that all the people watching wondering what in the heck you were doing.
I remember most of those women from one of the agencies coming over, and Terry called me and said, "Can you come over? Because the agency women are coming." I'm like, "What are the agency women, and what do they want?" You know?
Right.
But what they wanted was somebody with some initials behind their name, I guess, to say, yes, these people could do this, and these are the adaptations we made.
Yeah, and we had to go to our doctors
Yeah.
too, and
Yeah.
our doctors had to
Yeah.
sign off that we were able to be parents.
Wasn't
Well,
there
let's
a
take a
little
look-
article about you too?
Yeah, there was
In the
in
your
the
paper.
Statesman.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a look at Denver's drama, and you'll see what we're talking about.
Hello? Is this All God's Love Adoption Agency? Great. My name's Terry, and my husband's name is David, and we'd like to get more information about adopting a newborn. Sure, I'd love to tell you more about us. We've been married for 3 years. My husband has a great job as a computer programmer, and he works from home. And I plan on being a stay-at-home mom. This way, we can enjoy the daily joys of parenting together. Sure, I know everyone's different in terms of lifestyle, but we're both active and healthy, and we enjoy spending time with family and friends, and we swim and walk our dog, and we attend church nearly every Sunday. I think we can make an introductory luncheon this weekend. Can you tell me where it's located? Did you say downtown Loft? Is that wheelchair accessible? Both my husband and I use wheelchairs to get around. I know it's hard to imagine us as parents, but actually, people with disabilities have been parenting children for a long time. It's not like we're reinventing the wheel here. Well, what would it hurt to just give us a try? She hung up and said no further would pick us.
Good afternoon. We have a lot of paperwork to complete this afternoon to get you started on the adoption process. Basically, we'll complete a profile that asks you things like income, family history, health, that kind of thing. Are you ready to start?
I'm ready. Are you, Jane?
I'm ready.
Okay. First, how old are you?
I'm 43.
34.
Okay. And have either of you ever parented a child before?
No.
Okay, well, most people, go through that either, so not to worry. Tell me about your health. Do either of you have diabetes?
No.
Heart condition?
No.
You both use wheelchairs, so what is it that's wrong with you? Do you have muscular dystrophy?
Actually, we both have cerebral palsy.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's okay. We get along just fine.
Since you don't have feelings in your legs, how are you going to be able to hold baby in your lap?
Well, actually, I do have feelings in my legs, and I hold kids in my lap all the time. In fact, my nieces and nephews all duke it out over who's going to be the first to ride in Uncle David's lap.
Okay, let's see. Now, we're at the section about employment. Well, we won't be needing that.
Well, wait, sure. I've got a great job.
Oh, well, we'll come back to that in a minute and get that taken care of.
Okay.
My staff would like to know how you are planning to keep up with toddlers. They move pretty fast, and it's even hard for normal people to keep up with them.
Have you seen how fast these wheelchairs can go?
Those kids don't stand a chance against the Levo 42 XP100. okay, Terry?
No.
I can't believe this.
I can't believe it either. We spent the weekend with her in that hospital room. I bonded with that baby. We gave him his name. Now all we have left is an empty car seat.
No, I mean, it's just not fair. Everybody's waiting on Spring to go to home. And, well, now, just because some asshole sperm donor decides wants to be a dad all of a sudden, nothing.
I can't do this again. This is number 6. Hello? Yes. Yes.
Sure.
It's Helen from the adoption agency.
What does she want? They've already got all her money.
I know, Dave, but she says she's got a birth mother that's due at the end of the month, and the birth father's already signed.
But I thought you said we weren't going to go through this again.
I know, Dave, but she says she thinks we need to get back up on the horse for this one.
Well, okay, what do we got to lose? Can't get any worse.
If you're sure everything's ready, then we're ready.
I'll go pack the diaper bag. Andy, get the baby box back out of the attic.
Aw, Denver, you're my little sugar bear.
I can't believe we're doing this.
I'll never forget that look in her eye when she handed it to me.
I know, and I was scared of what the birth father was going to say.
I think he just thought we couldn't take care of the baby.
Yeah, he was just scared, like anybody else.
I think when I asked if he did hugs, that sealed the deal.
I don't know where you came up with that, but I sure am glad you did.
I'm just glad we're all finally home.
Yeah, that had to be a tough time.
Well, it was. It was really hard, and it was 11 years ago. Denver just turned 11, so in December. So, and he's doing great.
Yay.
We didn't totally ruin him.
I don't think he's ruined you either.
Yeah. You know, I think about all the kids that are waiting to be adopted, and these agencies. I don't know. There's folks out there just trying to keep you out. It seemed like, and it's a shame. But
Right. There's a lot behind what really goes on with the adoption process that people have to go through. It's not your typical Saturday afternoon Lifetime show about adoption.
Well, now let's move on to something a little less serious, to something called Popcorn Predator.
I don't know. It is pretty serious, Gene. I
Yeah.
mean, we got to get that popcorn.
We do. And let me give you the backstory on this. I was sitting around my apartment one day, kind of bored, and I thought, I think I'd like to make some popcorn. Well, I can't really use my hands, so this was going to be a bit of a challenge. Somehow I got into the cupboard where I had a box of popcorn, took it out, pulled it onto my lap. I was eventually able to get one of the packets of microwave popcorn out, but it had a cellophane wrapper on it. Well, I thought I could tear it open with my teeth. There was no way. So I put my Velcro strap on, put a fork in it, I turned the stove on, I held the fork on the burner of the stove till it got hot. Then I put it on the cellophane wrapper to melt it so I could open up this popcorn. Then I got the popcorn out, opened the microwave, and tossed it in. And so Chris helped me put it into an arrangement that we could perform on stage. So here's what it looks like on stage.
People loved it. They've talked about it for years.
Hello. What's this? The mighty lion studies his prey. Come here, my little friend, said the lion to the wildebeest. Who am I kidding? I'm not a lion. I'm just a quad with some time to kill. An open box of microwave popcorn presents a worthy challenge. The mighty lion extends his enormous muscular paw and drags his prey to his lap. His lap? That's right, I'm not a lion, I'm just a quad. But, box of microwave popcorn is no challenge in the teeth of a quad. Your fate is sealed. The mighty lion separates his prey from the herd. Your plastic wrapper has stopped many a quad, but not me. Today you have met your match. Still, there are limits to what a quad set of teeth can do. Oh. There's reason I am king of the jungle, master of my domain. The mighty lion reaches for his universal cuff. Secures it with a tug in his teeth. And places the fork in his claw. Sometimes I'm so crafty I can't stand myself. And now for the kill. With a toss of his head, the mighty lion flings his prey into the microwave. The lion will sleep well tonight.
Wow, when you really want some popcorn, I guess that's what you got to do. And it was really neat the way that the story comes together on that. You know, it's not just, there's a story behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys, through your writing, made it into this whole other view of it, you know, with the lion and
Yeah,
the safari.
It morphed. But I have to say that it was the first time that Gene had gotten a lot of editing, and he was not happy with me.
I was not.
He was not a happy camper. So
Edit my perfect work? What, are you kidding me?
I kept saying, we can make this so performable. but he loved what he had written.
Right.
It was quite good, like it was, but it wasn't going to be good
But
on
you
the
can't
stage.
perform it for an hour.
It wasn't
50
going to be on the
pages is
stage.
a little much.
Anyway, everyone has their moment when they're first realizing that someone's going to mess with their work to try to tweak it so that it goes up. But it was such a smash hit that you forgave me. So
Would you say that was the most challenging part of doing what you were doing with Actual Lives, was cutting stuff out and rewriting people's work? Or
actually, I'm pretty good at that. I think the hardest part was getting people originally at the beginning of every group that you put together, getting those people to be at ease with each other. So we had to do like some prompts and make some laughs happen, and
right.
You're talking about building that community, and you had to build a sense of intimacy too, because that's why we always had one prompt every session that said write about a powerful memory, because that was Terry's idea that she uses in her group, and we have kept it. We even use it in the little spin-off that project, the Opening Minds, Opening Doors project. We have them write about a memorable experience, a powerful memory, because it opens up your personal material.
Very vulnerable, right?
It makes you vulnerable.
It makes you so
but
vulnerable.
Since everybody's getting vulnerable, it's not so bad.
Right.
And then from that point on, we could get it. But if they're like, one time we had like 3 people who had hearing impairment and somebody who couldn't speak and but could read and write, and and getting them all comfortable in the same space was my job. It was really hard. So that was the thing that kicked me the most. Editing and bullying people to get them to make changes was not so hard. We were going for taking experiences in your daily life and really looking at them from the viewpoint of someone who doesn't live your life, and telling them what they need to know about what, like panties. Every woman in the audience was really interested in how you negotiate panties. So it went over, and she did a great job.
Very bold theater.
Yeah, I thought that was great. Now, Actual Lives also gave people an opportunity to showcase their talents. And Regina Bly, another local celebrity here in Austin, shows off her singing talents. Let's have a look. Who knew that we had a talented singer in the
Yeah,
band?
she's very, very
well,
good.
she kept saying, I'm not a writer, I'm a singer, and she wouldn't sing. And I would say, you can sing in Actual Lives. You don't have to, it doesn't have to be something you wrote. You can sing something. She's like, no, I'll write. And she didn't like anything she wrote. So finally I just said, okay, you just need to sing. And then she was really timid about it, but she
then she did it. She brought it out, that's for sure.
And she was so happy.
My entire family is hearing, except my twin sister and I. We were the last 2 born in a family of 5. When I look back on my childhood, I really had such wonderful experiences, but I really was missing something. Communication. When I was a young girl, I was so curious. I wanted to know what was going on in the world. I would always run up and ask people, hey, what are you saying? What are you saying? Hey, what's going on? Tell me. There'd be my mom in the kitchen. She'd be cooking, talking on the phone. I wondered who it was. I'd run in, hi, Mom. I'd ask her, who are you talking to? Oh, it's your dad. He's at work. And she would interpret for me. Okay, I get it. Such a good girl. And look, there's my friend over there. Hey, friend. Hey, Frankie. What's up? Hey, I learned a new sign to teach you. Look, it's tree. Tree. Great, I learned a new sign. I'm so excited. I've got to go to Mom. Mom. What is it this time, Frankie? Look, I've learned a new sign. Oh, and she would interpret to Dad, your daughter's learned a new sign. You're such a good girl. I had a pat on the head. I was so proud that I learned a new sign. Oh, there's my brother. He'd be over there hanging out. Hey, you guys, know how Frankie's always wanting to learn new signs, right? Well, watch this. Hey, what's up? Hey, Frank, you want to learn a new sign? Yeah, what is it? What does that mean? Go ask Mom. Hey, last time I got a pat on the head. Mom with a spoon. I don't get it. Well, it tastes good anyway. Now I'd be in the living room watching TV, but understand back then they didn't have any closed captioning. I'd flip through the channels. Oh, it's James Bond. You know, 007, very boring. You know, the sleek man with a gun and his cat, talking to some real pretty, sexy girl. All dialogue, no action. Very boring. So I flip through the channels, and oh, it's my favorite, the Three Stooges. I loved all that action. Hey, welcome to the channel. Oh, my brother again. Hey, I was here first. But I'm the oldest. That's not fair. He'd be just laughing away, enjoying himself. Hey, what are they saying? Tell me, what's going on? And then he tried to finger spell C-O-M-M. You know what I mean. What? I have to wait until a commercial? I have to wait that long? That's not fair. Okay, here it is. Here's a commercial. Tell me what happened. Let's see. Sorry, I forgot. What? You think I'm not an important person? You think I'm not an important person? You're wrong. Yeah, fuck you. Fuck you. I am a very important person. Come on, say it with me. I'm an important.
Sometimes all you have left is your dignity. Sometimes you have to redefine what that means. After I had my left knee replacement surgery, I was the youngest person in that rehab unit, and sure, I was the only woman there having my period. The first day I got assigned to pool therapy. But in order to be in the pool, I had to wear a tampon. The problem was, I couldn't sit up by myself. I was on a catheter. I couldn't wipe without help. And the idea of inserting a tampon posed an interesting interesting problem. One night I woke up bleeding onto the chucks. I rang for the night attendant. 2 of them came, Louise and Paula. They were both from a foreign country. I told Paula what I needed.
Why aren't you using a pad? You know why?
I explained. They both left abruptly and returned, snapping on latex gloves.
None of your buses ever used a tampon before. I think you can figure it out.
Silence is not recommended in a rehab unit. I said, how's about you give me a tampon, we'll have a little demonstration, a little learning moment. I showed them how the applicator worked, what the string was for. They were intrigued and took turns, pushing the cotton wadding back and forth, seeing how it worked. We tossed tampons for one, and they set about rigging up a makeshift stirrups for me. Lifting my feet gently up, Paula demanded to go first. But when she pulled out the application, we threw tampon number 2. Louise decided to go. She was very focused on how the applicator worked, but not so much on me. So within seconds, I was yelling, "Oh my God, no, that's the wrong hole!" Paula went again. She had long fingernails that she decided to use like tweezers to pull out the applicator. And I screamed, she jerked, and the whole thing came. They took on tampon number 5 as a joint effort. Bent down in my crotch, talking to each other in a language I couldn't understand. And they got it in okay. They stayed down in my crotch. Sometimes, all you have left is your dignity. Sometimes, you have to redefine what that means.
Of course, we had our own personal stories, but in addition to that, we had some, or you and Allison did some choreography.
Yeah, but there's a lot, and there's a lot of break-off pieces like the Body Works, and there's another one, Opening Mind, Opening Doors, that you mentioned earlier. And you've been in here in town working with some new writers
Still going.
on that, right?
19 years later.
Wow, incredible! So it's been a process. It's evolved and created some new groups, and which reminds me
and
of...
if you're interested in that, in the Body Works or Opening Minds, Opening Doors, or wanting to get involved, I really encourage you to go to VSATX.org, VSA's website, and you can find out all the information. You can even look them up on Facebook and find out when those events are taking place, and get out to one of them. It's a lot of fun.
And Dave's not just saying that because he's on the board of directors. It's really true. Now, that reminds me of some of the rehearsals that we've had, and during one rehearsal we took a break, and Dave approached me about a skit he had in mind.
We were working so hard, and I think it was the Days show when we were doing the choreography, and just long days and long nights, and it was opening weekend, and we were really trying to do all of our dress rehearsals, and I think every one of us was exhausted. And I can remember going home that night and getting in bed and waking up, in the middle of the night in a panic on who was going to help me the next morning. Because I have attendants that come in and help me get out of bed. And I couldn't remember who worked on Monday. And I was like, who works Monday? And as I said that over and over to myself, I'm like, oh, that would make a really good actual live skit on who works Monday and what works Tuesday, the old Abbott and Costello routine. So the next day at rehearsal, I said, Gene, I've got an idea for something I think I want to work with you on. And that night, after that rehearsal, I got home and I had an email from Gene with the entire script to this skit that I had dreamed up, Works Monday, and we decided, Gene said, I know some cameramen. Let's try to put this on camera. This would be really hard to do on stage, so let's see if we can do it on camera. And so here it is, Who Works Monday? Gene, man, thanks for having me over to watch the new episode of Gino's Place. I can't wait to see this one. By the way, some new guy let me in. I haven't met him before. Did you get some new attendants?
Oh yeah, I've got a lot of new attendants. I just got a new home health agency.
Man, I don't know how in the world you keep them straight. And I suppose you know all their names.
Oh yeah, I memorized them all.
Well, what are they?
All right, I'll tell you their names, but the attendants nowadays have funny names, nicknames like Snoopy, because it's always doggy. But I'll tell you their names. Now let's see. Who works Monday? What works Tuesday? I don't know works Wednesday.
No. That's what I'm trying to find out. That's what I'm asking you. I'm wanting to find out what their names are.
I say, who works Monday? What works Tuesday? I don't know works Wednesday.
You're the employer, right?
Yes.
And you don't know the guys' names?
Well, I should.
Well, then, who works on Monday?
Yes.
I mean, the dude's name.
Who?
The guy that works on Monday.
Who?
The man that works on Monday.
Who works Monday?
The attendant.
Who works Monday?
I'm asking you who works Monday.
That's the man's name.
That's whose name?
Yes.
Look, you got an attendant who works on Monday.
Certainly.
So, who works Monday?
That's right.
When you pay the attendant who works Monday, every week, who gets the money?
Every dollar.
Look, all I'm trying to find out is the guy's name that works on Monday.
Who?
The guy that gets the money.
That's it.
Okay, who gets the money?
He does, every dollar. Sometimes his wife comes down and collects it.
Whose wife?
Yes. What's wrong with that?
Look, all I want to know is when you sign up the attendant who works on Monday, how does he sign his name?
Who?
The guy.
Who?
How does he sign?
That's how he signs it.
Who?
Yes.
All I'm trying to find out is what's the guy's name that works on Monday?
No, what works Tuesday?
I'm not asking you who works on Tuesday.
Who works Monday?
One at a time.
Well, don't change the attendance.
I'm not changing nobody.
Take it easy, buddy.
I'm only asking you who's the guy that works on Monday.
That's right.
Okay.
All right.
What's the guy's name that works on Monday?
Now, what works Tuesday?
I'm not asking you who works Tuesday.
Who works Monday?
I don't know.
He's working Wednesday. We're not even talking about him.
Now, how the hell did you get to Wednesday?
You mentioned his name.
If I mentioned the Wednesday man's name, who did I say was working Wednesday?
No. Who's working Monday?
What's the guy's name that works on Monday?
What works Tuesday?
I don't know.
He's working Wednesday.
There I go. Back to working Wednesday again. Okay. Would you just stay on Wednesday and don't go off of it?
All right. What do you want to know?
Now, who's working Wednesday?
Why do you insist on who working Wednesday?
What's the name of the guy that works on Wednesday?
No, what works Tuesday?
You don't know who works Tuesday?
Who works Monday?
I don't know. Wednesday. Look, you got a Thursday attendant?
Sure.
The attendant's name?
Why?
I just thought I'd ask.
Well, I just thought I'd tell you.
Then tell me who's working on Thursday.
Who's working Monday?
I'm not. Stay off of Monday. I want to know what's the guy's name that works on Thursday.
No, what's the guy's name that works Tuesday?
I'm not asking you who works on Tuesday.
Who works on Monday?
I don't know. Wednesday? The attendant working Thursday's name.
Why?
Because.
Oh, he works Friday.
Look, you got an attendant that works Saturday?
Sure.
Well, what's his name?
Tomorrow.
You don't want to tell me today?
I'm telling you now.
Well, then go ahead.
Tomorrow.
What time?
What time what?
What time tomorrow are you going to tell me who works on Saturday?
Now listen, who is not working Saturday?
I am going to break your joystick arm if you say who works on Monday. I want to know what's the Saturday's man's name.
What works Tuesday?
I don't know. Wednesday? You got a Sunday attendant?
Certainly do.
And this Sunday attendant's name?
Today.
Today. And tomorrow's working Saturday.
Now you've got it.
All we got is a couple days of working. You know, I schedule attendance for work too.
So they tell me.
I look at the schedule and I see tomorrow works on Saturday. Now, Saturday, tomorrow calls, and he says that he can't work tonight. Now, me being a good scheduler, I ask today if he can take tomorrow's place tonight.
Now that's the first thing you said right.
I don't even know what I'm talking about. Look, if I schedule someone to work on Monday, somebody's got to get the job. Now, who has it?
Naturally.
Who?
Naturally.
So I schedule naturally.
No, you don't. You schedule who?
Naturally.
That's different.
That's what I said.
You're not saying it.
I schedule naturally.
You schedule who?
That's what I said.
All right, you ask me.
I schedule who?
Naturally.
Now you ask me.
You schedule who?
Naturally.
That's it.
Same as you. Same as you. I schedule who? Who can't make it, so I try to schedule what? What can't make it, so I try to schedule I don't know. I don't know can't make it, so I try to schedule tomorrow. Tomorrow can't make it, so I try to schedule today because why? I don't know. He's working Wednesday, so I don't give a damn.
What?
I don't give a damn.
Oh, he's working holidays. And so as a result, we were able to show this video at some, we had it in a lobby of some actualized performance, I believe. And a number of people saw it and said, wow, that's great. You guys should have your own show.
Yeah, I think Bob Kafka was one of the loudest voices saying that. You guys do your own show and we'll help support you. And they sure have. ADAPT has really helped us with the Gene and Dave show throughout the years.
The ADAPT came to the very first shows, and they scared me to death because I thought for sure they'd find some kind of accessibility problem or something that I had screwed up or not thought of, but they were just completely supportive. And we got invited to do a 20-minute little show for their their anniversary, like their 20th anniversary or something. And we had such a great time with it. And there was a whole bunch of people there, and they're all really totally activist people with disabilities. And we were all a little bit nervous, but it was fun.
Well, that's how the Gene and Dave show got started. All from Who Works Monday and
Actual Lives.
And Actual Lives. So thank you, Chris, for helping get us started in that direction.
Yep.
And I think a lot of folks owe you gratitude. And as Dave was saying, a lot of stories were cathartic and just mind expanding. So it was a great opportunity. So if you folks are interested in this type of thing, where can they go, Chris? Anywhere in Austin?
You can talk with Celia at VSA.
And maybe if we get enough interest, who knows? See, maybe we can bring Chris back as
we could.
Director. Good deal.
I wouldn't mind doing that.
The rebirth of Actual Lives. It sounds like fun.
It does.
Yeah. Until then, folks, I'm Gene.
And I'm Dave.
And I'm Chris.
And we're the Gene and Dave Show with Chris.
Yes.
This program was made possible from the support of VSA of Texas.
And AmeriGroup.
And can Mom afford to have help preparing her meals? We know what you're going through. AmeriGroup has a plan for people with Medicaid that helps them get the services they need to live at home. AmeriGroup. Choose us for helping your loved ones live at home. Call 1-800-964-2777.